Now from here, United States, in the East Coast, good morning, everybody. And then wherever they are, in the evening or afternoon or midnight, whatever. So I was asked to come here and at the TMC Dharma Center to talk about the fivefold path of the Mahamudra, which is very now popular everywhere. Most people know about this. It's kind of well publicized. So main purpose of our Dharma study practice is not establish your life in this world, not to become famous or rich. The purpose of our Dharma study is how to free from samsara. You see, the samsara, everybody knows, the vicious cycle of the suffering, which is based on our ignorance, confusion, mostly ego that we are trapped in. And our ego is so habituated within us, even though it's non-existence. That non-existence was so habituated within us and difficult to get rid of it. So to free from this vicious cycle of samsara, the Buddha taught the Dharma teachings. So purpose Buddha came in this world is to free every sentient beings from the suffering, and then look at the cause of suffering, and then how to alleviate, how to get rid of all the cause of the suffering. That's the purpose of the Buddha's teaching that Buddha taught. So therefore, we as a Dharma practitioner, follower of the Dharma, we always inspired and so taught us to how to cultivate the mind to attain to Buddhahood. So mind to attain to Buddhahood means to free from samsara. So that's the we're always supposed to be the purpose of our Dharma study practice. For this reason, anywhere, whoever listening to Dharma teachings, we need to cultivate the mind of the enlightenment to attain Buddhahood. The reason because, everybody knows now, everybody desire to free from samsara, or to free from suffering, I should say. Nobody desire to have suffering physically, mentally. That's very obvious. Whether you are a Dharma practitioner or not Dharma practitioner, whether you believe in religion or not religion, whether you're educated or uneducated, whether you're rich or poor, everybody desire to free from suffering. That's clear. There's no question about that. Those who don't believe anything, they also desire to free from suffering. That's clear, And everybody, even animals, insects, birds, they all desire for peace and happiness. Even though they don't know what peace and happiness is about, but simply they just, they want to have peace and happiness. That's clear, no question about that. It's a universal reality, nature. So look at this. This is the bottom line there, that is so clear and precise. For this purpose, so Buddha taught the Dharma teachings. So Buddha's teaching is, you see, not just only for monks and nuns, Buddhists, but also not just lay Buddhist people, but every sentient beings, everyone Buddha's in Buddha's mind, everyone is included. No one is excluded. Even they may hate Buddha, but in Buddha's mind, all are included. But the desire everyone to free from suffering. But the desire everybody to have peace and happiness, even in the temporary life, and eventually to achieve the ultimate peace and happiness. Having said that, you see, we all, there is something such as called the basic goodness, the fundamental goodness is called effulgence, that which is pervaded in every sentient being's mind. Because of that, we desire for peace and happiness. Because of that, we desire to free from suffering. When there's some physical suffering, mental suffering is there, just without doubt, without any questioning, we have sense of some kind of aversion. So I dislike this suffering, And when there comes some physical peace and happiness, we are just feel so comfortable with that. We're just congruent with that. We just follow with that. And we just want to have that. At the same time, there's called adventitious obscuration, mental obscuration, that obscures the clarity of the mind. So that doesn't allow us to see the real cause for peace and happiness. And that doesn't allow us to see the real cause of the suffering. And so that adventitious mental afflictions, we're so habituated, as I mentioned, just like ego, it does not exist anywhere. Intellectually, investigation, and through the meditation practice, but we're so kind of totally habituated and just draw us into that direction without kind of choice, And then through the quantum physics theories study and through the investigation intellectually, you find there's no such call, an ego, something exists independently. You see it, you know it, you are fully convinced about that. But through in the experience in your life, in your daily life, the ego is just there, difficult to get rid of it. It's very sensitive. It's very fragile. It just makes you very weak when you come to the ego, when you don't like what you want, then there you struggle. Then, so therefore, it requires a lot of time, mindfulness, and go through a lot of risk training. When you're there, like everybody knows Milarepa's life story. He went to retreat for the rest of his life to take care of that. It doesn't mean that he didn't know when he met Marpa. Marpa introduced everything. He received all those teachings, but it takes time to get used to it. That's why we have to take care of these things. So this is the purpose of the Buddha's teaching. And because of this, our desire for peace and happiness, but that doesn't come just by wishing, by saying prayers. As we said, prayers, may all mother sentient beings have happiness and peace, the causes of happiness. May they free from suffering and the causes of suffering. No matter how much you say the prayers, practically it doesn't happen. No. Therefore, we have to make effort. What are the causes? Look at the cause, make effort, you see. So those who don't know the Dharma teachings, what Buddha taught, everybody makes effort, working hard in their life, you see. They don't know what enlightenment is. They don't know what is really the depth of the suffering itself, but in their daily life, how much they work hard. Because to have some peace and happiness. If I achieve this, I'll be very happy. So they have their own, some kind of understanding, through their own, how they approach. And then from that point of view, that individual, whatever religion they believe or don't believe anything, but making every effort to have peace and happiness. And the suffering, when it comes, when you suffer, no matter how much you say prayer, may I free from the suffering, may everybody free from the suffering, no matter how much you say prayer, it doesn't happen. Because of that, everybody keeps busy. Even say, I don't believe anything, but they make every effort to free from the suffering. It's clear, See, when you need some kind of like a lunch, you have to make effort to make the lunch. So that's why Buddha's wisdom is so precise, clear, because we say Buddha is enlightened. Enlightened means these adventitious obscurations, all the layers are taken care of, fully, transcend within the all-pervading reality natures. So from that point of view, Buddha taught the teachings. That's why we have every reason to study, practice the Buddha's teaching, not as because of Buddhist, but because of the reality nature, based on all the reality nature. So that's why, every practitioners have the responsibility to follow in that way. And all the teachers also have the responsibility to show that kind of reality, natural, So everything functions within the framework of the causality. Everything functions within the causality. See, so causality, the cause and result, the cause of suffering, and the result suffering, and the cause for peace and happiness, and result peace and happiness, is the universal reality nature. Everything constitutes within that, hemisphere, within that constitution. See, so it's not something we created or just something that I believe or don't believe, but from the reality point of view, this is how everything's constituted. Therefore, we individually need to make effort, first together, right? That's called, the view, meditation, and conduct. So we need first a right view. That's what's called, the right view. On the base of the right view, then we need a meditation, continuation of the habitual tendency to follow that. Then we follow with the conduct. So these three, view, the meditation, conduct, constitutes the full path towards the enlightenment. If you're confused, miss the view, you cannot achieve that. And if you don't have proper meditation technique, you cannot get there. When you miss the conduct, and that you mistake, and then you cannot get there. So conduct here means based on the virtue, non-virtue. So this is what I believe, let's say, doing all the wrong things. So I believe this will take me to the right place. that content will not allow you to achieve that state because you are driving in the wrong direction. You cannot get there, So these are the teachings that such an important point, especially we need in this 21st century. The Buddha's teaching, you see, is educational understanding. You practice on the base of your understanding. You follow the path on the base of your understanding, not just believe. Or somebody told me this way, I had to believe. So Buddha, right from the beginning, Buddha didn't say how to believe. Buddha didn't say, pray to me, I will solve your problems. Buddha said, the Four Noble Truth, this is the suffering, you should know it. It's not just, it's not just physical, mental suffering itself, but the depth, there's more. And this is the cause of suffering, you have to avoid it. And this is the nirvana, cessation, you have to achieve it. To achieve that, you have to follow this path. So the Four Noble Truths is the framework of all the Buddha's teaching. You see, from the first wheel, turning the wheel, second turning, the third turning, all Buddha's teachings are constituted within the Four Noble Truths. From the first, just to understand basic reality nature, then you go further. What that means is the mind is profound. Not the Dharma teaching is profound, but your mind is profound. Your mind is complex. So to comprehend the complexity of the mind, the Buddha talked according to the needs of this step by step, you see. So we should understand the mind is not somewhere else within you. Mind is very mysterious, very complex, So sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't like it. Why? It's the expression of your mind. Your emotional, how your emotion stands for. According to your mood of the mind, emotion of the mind, and then it expresses. So subject is nothing to do, you see. So today, may I like this bell, so that's so good. Next day, maybe I don't like this bell. Bell is bell, If it is real, you should like it all the time or dislike it all the time. But that's not the case, Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't like it, all these things. So everything is mental conditions. That's the relative state of the mind, you see. Samsara, that's how the 6 realms of the samsara is constituted. So that's how the Buddha taught the teachings, and we practitioners have to have this kind of ability to penetrate. So Buddha taught so much teachings, for his 45 years, just in that Shakyamuni's life, he taught, 84,000 doors of the teachings. Is all the correspondence with the mind, how to develop your mind, how to purify all the mental afflictions, So these all the teachings are now brought together into this 5-fold path of Mahamudra. So within this 5-fold path of Mahamudra, then all the teachings are constituted there. All are just there. This the Lord Jigten Sungkun in at the 12th century, so he manifested as a Jigten Sungkun Buddha in the human form, and then there are a lot of different scholars they communicate. This is so high, this teaching so good, this is not so good, this is that, this is a lot of confusion was there. That time Jigten Sungkun brought all this Buddha's teaching and put into this 5 path. So then 5 path you go step by step. See, this 5 path you can practice within one single state of the mind, within one session, or you can take your rest of your life. So all the Buddha's teachings are within in this 5-fold path of Mahamudra. they call fivefold path of Mahamudra. This all lead to the enlightenment because of that, the fivefold path of Mahamudra. So, as I mentioned, you all know about these things. You are introduced these teachings so many times. You know all those things. So I don't have to say so much. Maybe you know better than I do, So this is how, And so here, the translation roughly were done in the 80s. You have the text there. This is when Lord Sungwon enlightened, and then from his own experience, and then he taught this to the disciples, followers. He said, I vowed at the feet of glorious Mahamudra. That's his root guru. From him, from Mahamudra, he received all the Buddha's teachings, the view, mathematical system, the meditation, Vajrayana meditation practices, teaching, and then he received also the bodhicitta conduct, all this, complete he received from Mahamudra. After he received all this, he just not just put there, I received all the teachings, I have the transmissions. Not just that, he went through retreat himself. He was not saying, I was Nagarjuna's incarnation or I'm already established. No, he didn't say that. He went through training step by step as a just basic ordinary student. He studied, he went to retreat, for 7 years, just consecutively 7 years in the meditation practice. And basically, he was meditating when he was young, all the way, but especially after he received all the teachings that he went to retreat for 7 years. And these days, you go to 3-year retreat. Oh, wow, you go 3-year retreat, You think it's too much, 3 years, nothing. Milarepa did his whole life in the retreat, as you know. So all that at that time, Milarepa and Kambupa and Jigten Sungwon, all their disciples sent to retreat, and they spent their whole life in the retreat. Many of them have no trace of their life because they just went to retreat, meditated, they're enlightened, they're free from samsara. That's the purpose of this life. You have heard of precious human life many times, I'm sure. The 4 foundations, impermanence, precious human life, samsara, suffering of samsara, and then there's the causality, karma, cause, you have heard of these 4 ordinary foundations. Why this precious human life is so important? When you have precious human life, then you get the opportunity how to free from the samsara. That's why in the jewel ornament of liberation, then the working basis is the precious human life, is the excellent. You have the mental capacity to see what Buddhahood is about. And you have a capacity, the mental capacity to see the samsaric reality natural. And you have this very precise, perceiving this enlightenment state and the samsara state, which animals they don't have. Many human beings also don't have that. If you talk about they say it doesn't make sense. But those who you reflect on the Dharma teachings and see the samsara and the nirvana, then you see. Then you have to make choice. See, so human life has that kind of a capacity. That capacity allow you to have the ability to attain Buddhahood. That's what's called precious human life. Otherwise, sometimes human life can make more kind of disasters than the other lives, The war, all this fighting, nuclear bomb throwing, all this is made by human beings. They are not so precious, human life. This precious human life is the desire to have peace and happiness. So their relative state of peace and happiness. There's absolute peace and happiness. So this human precious life allow you to achieve to ultimate peace and happiness. So first, what is that about? And then say how to achieve that state. This precious human life has that opportunity. That's why it's called precious human life, as you see. So that there's a relation to this thing. I say, no, this all anyway, Lord Jesus would receive all this teaching from Mahamudra. Then after he got the certainty of this fivefold path, then he made this Vajra song here. If the steed of love and compassion does not run for the benefit of others, it will not revert in the assembly of the gods and human. Attend therefore to the preliminaries. If one's body, the king of deities, is not stabilized on this unchanging ground, the retinue of Dakini will not assemble. Be sure, therefore, of your body as a yidam. If on the Guru's snow mountain of the four kayas, the sun of devotion fails to shine, the stream of blessing will not arise. Attend therefore to this mind of devotion. If from the sky-like expanse of mind as such, the cloud of the preconception are not blown away, the planet and the star of the true wisdom will not shine. Attend therefore to this mind without preconception or mental or thoughts. If the wish-fulfilling gem of the true accumulation is not polished by aspiration, the result we have hoped for will not arise. Attend therefore this final dedication. The final means the last from the five parts. So this is the Lord Chittosungun, he wrote down as a Vajra song after he achieved this certainty of this understanding, realization of the fivefold path of Mahamudra. So all his great disciples, hundreds of thousands of disciples gathered. So many, just for example, he sent 55,000 disciples to Mount Kailash at one time, likewise to Lapchi and to Zari, and then all different mountains, places you see. And so many of them achieved enlightenment, Buddhahood in one lifetime. And even the least follower, practitioner, have realized the nature of the mind and cause to free from samsara. So this is where today, this morning and tomorrow morning, we go through step by step, some understanding, questions and answers. If you have, I'll go through this. First, as I mentioned now, you got some introduction about this. And as I mentioned, you have received also many times on this occasion from many different teachers. So I don't have to say so much. But first, we have to look at the first, as mentioned, cultivate the mind to achieve complete enlightenment. As we said, at the beginning, the opening prayers. So you know those prayers. You memorized. And I'm sure many of you are saying those prayers every morning. That we cultivate that mind to achieve complete enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Today, I will receive these teachings and I will follow the practice, meditations, whatever you're doing. You know? So our practice is not just only sitting time. Your mind training have to go 24 hours because your mind is with you 24 hours. And through the 24 hours, you need peace and happiness. Through all these 24 hours, you want to free from suffering. You know? So it's all how the mind create that kind of constitution. So having that understood, then we have to have the mindfulness follow. So first, I do these things to achieve complete enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Establish that view, that focus, the purpose of your study, your practice, meditation. And then with this, you have to watch your mind. In the samsara, you see, look at, our mental afflictions, as I mentioned. There are the mental afflictions, nyumo, if you know Tibetan, nyumo, the glaciers, the afflictive emotions. We have rough translation in English, that much, so that in the samsara, we are with these mental afflictions with the 24 hours, All the suffering that we go through is because of these mental afflictions. The outer causes of sufferings are certain, but always, like the disaster of like winds, storms, snows, hot, just occasionally, not every day, But these are mental afflictions with us. It's with us for 24 hours, with us. And they are with us, who's so friendly, without realizing how much they ruins your life. They pretend that they are taking care of you. Well, they're destroying your peace and happiness. That's what Dharma, the Dharma we need, the eye of the wisdom, we need that. We have to be very vigilant, very careful about this. Dharma is for that purpose, you see. Not something ritualized or something very high throng, beautiful things outside for all the wonderful performances, they are good, okay. But real Dharma practitioners, these are not important. Important point is just to watch your mind, no matter where you are. That's what Buddha taught. The example is given by us, by Milarepa and the former great masters who taught us Dharma teachings. These mental afflictions, they ruins our life. They ruin our life. The peace and happiness, you see, everywhere. So look at that on Dharma. I'm not saying everything's bad, but you look at all the suffering that here in the society, everywhere. Very advanced countries have same suffering, and those are so poor countries. when you come to the mental afflictions, mental afflictive emotions, the poor countries, they have more suffering due to lack of the outer facilities, no proper place to live, no proper food to eat, they're suffering more from this. And then those are privileged, advanced country, they're more suffering from the mental afflictions. They have enough food to eat, good place to live, but still the mental afflictions within us, and then it ruins our life. It's very clear, That's reality natural. So we have to understand that reality natural. Very important, I think, as a Dharma practitioner, And whether you are interested to study practice Dharma or not interested is your choice. If you're not interested in Dharma practice, that's okay, It's your choice. But then you have to say we have to have the understanding of Dharma, Now, since I came to this country in the early 80s, so there are some friends, many of them died now. Paul knows, Paul is now here, one of the very old member of the center. He became the member of the center since 1986 and the main supporter of this center, Make sure they legally, financially go well, So many of our old friends, they moved to different places, they died, they're old, so like this, or not these things. So Dharma practice, what is mentioned, that your interest Dharma, some they first started, they interested so much, after a few years, they leave, Of course, their choice, What we can say, Some continues, like many of here now, we met, they're still hanging on around here, So I feel those who are interested, even though they cannot practice so regularly, or practice so much, but they don't give up Dharma teachings. And I treat them really grateful. So at least they have a strong understanding Dharma. They never give up, So that's very precious, I feel, because they feel there's something you cannot give up, It's not that because I'm as a Buddhist, but because of, as a mission, you are understanding what Buddha is about, what the Dharma is about. As mentioned, Buddha didn't say, you worship me, I will solve your problems. But Buddha said, I give you the teachings, instruction for the liberation, but then it's up to you for the liberation. So this, you see, liberation, there's nothing to go outside somewhere else. Sometimes when you say, Amitabha Pure Land in the West, there's somewhere, some place, there's a dimension, but Amitabha is there all the time, peaceful land. I admire to born there. I have a strong aspiration to born there. We say these prayers, but actually Pure Land or Hell Realm is within us, See, as long as when you keep the beginnings of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta in your mind, it's Pure Land. So, as long as when your mind is occupied by these kleshas, the afflictive emotions, is hell realm, hungry ghost, animal, So there's it's very precise, clear, So that's what Buddha taught. That's estimation the mind. So so we have to look at the disadvantage of the afflictive emotions. the ignorance, and then the attachment, the aversion. There's some, we practice Dharma for many years, but this we keep these 4 mental poisons fresh, alive. So I don't know why they're practicing, what they're practicing, Look at that, who stays in the Dharma Center for many years, but their mental affliction is so fresh, ready to jump, So this our focus, Dharma is designed for that. For the suffering, all the sufferings are all the sufferings are the flavor of this mental poison. The manifest is when there's ocean, then there's a storm, waves, you see. As long as this ocean is there, no matter how much you try to stop this storm, not possible. No matter how much you try to stop the waves, not possible. So we have to make effort how to dry the ocean. When the oceans are dry, then the storms, the waves are just taken care of by itself. So as long as the ocean of the afflictive emotions are fresh, then we cannot expect real peace and happiness, no matter how much you pretend, So this is taking a long time to get rid of. Because you see, we are habituated this through many lifetimes. So please understand that, through countless lifetimes, we are so habituated with them, these mental afflictions. Even this life, you see, like drinking alcohol. You are not born with drinking alcohol. But some, when you're teenage, 20s, then somehow you're introduced to drink. And you drink for a few years, 5 years, 10 years, then you are so habituated and difficult to get rid of that habit, you see. Then your family says your drinking is so bad, it's not good for you, not good for your health, you're not good for mind, not good for your money. So you're spending so much money drinking, and you know it's not good, but very difficult to give up. It takes a lot of effort, isn't it? Then you have to go to special school. What do you call that? Rehab. Recap. Rehab. Yeah, rehabilitation, like this. So you have to go there, training so much. Sometimes successful, sometimes not successful. Now these mental afflictive emotions, we just through many lifetimes, we're habituated. So please understand that, Don't take it so easy. So, very easy. So when you study Mahamudra, it exists nowhere. Yes, I know it. You see, when you reintroduce Sochen Mahamudra, these are just a play. There's no virtue and non-virtue. No, these things underneath, it's not that easy. You see. So we have to, like we haven't been to school, how to have our ego, how to have developed desire on, attachment, aversion. It just pops up, You see, well, Dharma teachings are the design how to, purify. There's only Dharma now. There's no other way. Even nowadays, the science are so advanced, you see. The scientists' technologies are so advanced, but they will not help you to purify these mental afflictions. Instead, they will help you to increase, how to have one form, two form, three forms. Some people have 3-4 forms on their hand, So I need this for this, I need this for this, I need this for this, So there's like that. So there's some business people that have that, you know that. So only the Dharma, help you to purify. So Dharma is not a religion, you see. It's a wisdom. Okay. It's beyond religion. But that wisdom is within you. You have to make effort to manifest within you. So Dharma teaching is a key to open that door. But you have to utilize, you have to open the key by having this special nerve capacity. See, then you see, oh, okay. Then you feel so fortunate. Really, you feel fortunate. Even you don't have anything, so I'm so fortunate I have the Dharma in my life. You appreciate sincerely. Then you feel, oh, I have this precious human life. Now I will follow until my last breath stops. Then your joy is such inexpressible because it lies within you. So then you see, you appreciate Buddha, how Buddha could give these teachings to us, how that great masters have communicated these teachings with us. Otherwise, sometimes we misuse Dharma. In the name of Dharma, we create other problems when you don't have that key, that wisdom. So it is very critical things. So when you have this kind of wisdom, follow the Dharma path, step by step, as much as you can, then you die peacefully. See, I have no regret. So at least I practiced Dharma sincerely as much as I could. Maybe I'm not enlightened, or maybe I'm not accomplished, but at least I haven't made a mess. There's some people who involve the ego, and then they're trapped in the ego, they mess the mess in the name of the Dharma. So I haven't done that. So there's so many layers, you see, the explanation of the mind is very complex. So there's a danger we may use Dharma as a wrong purpose. We don't want that. We want Dharma study, practice as much as possible to reduce our ego, to become a good service for the people. Like say, look at the earth. This earth is such a precious. We all survive because of the earth. Look at all the birds singing, all the animals grazing, all the fish, everything's there. Because the earth provides all what we need. No matter how much we take advantage of the earth, destroy, still it gives us how to live our life. So we should be like that. Bodhicitta is that for that purpose. That's why just went first, bodhicitta. The universal mind, total, nothing but peace, nothing but wisdom. Bodhicitta is the first most important to start. Second most important to perfect your Dharma. Third most important to benefit sentient beings. So to bodhicitta is the principle, the body of the teachings. To perfect bodhicitta, to realize the bodhicitta perfectly, then there comes the yidam. There need guru yoga, devotion to perfect bodhicitta. We need Mahamudra to perfect bodhicitta. We need the dedication, rest. So bodhicitta is first most important. Now, in order to practice bodhicitta, then we need loving kindness. Loving kindness is a mind free from the desire of the attachment, afflictions, aversion. But we need the loving kindness, you see, like a mother raised a child. The bird hatches the eggs. She very delicately hatches the eggs, without any concerning, just risk her life because she has a sense of responsibility, love. That's where the chicken survives. When hatches cannot survive out of aversion, hatred. So now that, when that goes to all the sentient beings, as you said, all the mother sentient beings, especially those who hate me, who create obstacles, who create the hindrances for enlightenment, may they all have peace and happiness. See, what that shows is a mind free from attachment, aversion. What that mind is, the mind of just, to cultivate the mind, sincerely desire to have all the peace and happiness, and to free from the suffering. Because we need that, loving kindness, It's nothing to do with our doing, so to all this our life, but this life's purpose, but rather the mind cultivates to all sentient beings, whether they are rich or not rich, or educated, uneducated. Maybe your life is so simple, but from that simplicity of the life, and then cultivate that mind to all the sentient beings, And that where you are in such a place, as I mentioned, doesn't have to be anything. But as long as you are there, that place becomes the Pure Land. Because you have no attachment. Because you are not to your relatives or people you love. So those enemies who hate you, still you wish for peace and happiness. Same with everybody. You share that thought with everybody. And then you try, say in your mind, everyone is a desire to free from suffering, wish everyone is free from suffering. There are so many who are suffering in the samsara, in this world, because of their mental afflictions. And then you wish all, to free from suffering. That cultivation mind is a compassion. So now, when you will achieve total peace and happiness, when you will be free from all the suffering, you have wish all sentient beings to have peace and happiness. You have a wish everyone is free from suffering. Now, when that will achieve? See, Now to that, so you have to attain Buddhahood. So when one becomes a Buddha, at that moment, one is free from all the suffering. At that moment, everyone achieved peace and happiness. I mean, that individual. Because of that, we need the bodhicitta. See? So bodhicitta is a cause to achieve the enlightenment. Make sense? These are very important points that we have to understand. Now, you know, this looking at the, as I mentioned, the high view, Mahamudra, oh, I like the Mahamudra. Can you give us some Mahamudra teaching? Can you give us some something, you know? So I like them so much, you know. Or can you give me the highest yoga tantra teachings, you know? Those Vajrayana high yoga tantra chakra channels, all this. I'm so interested. But without first this, they don't play so well. Sometimes they become a cause. We trapped our ego. Instead of reducing ego, we developed bigger ego, stronger ego. You see? So it depends, individual practitioners, how you play with that, how you use with that. So we need a skill. So these teachings, how they design first, you know. So it's the love and compassion personified as a horse. So you have to have horse, the horse of love and compassion, okay. Now having horse, what should you do? Racing horse, you know, dropping the horse there. So then people say this horse got the first prize, the second prize, you know. So they said, you run the horse towards enlightenment, bodhicitta. The horse, the love and compassion you have to run for the enlightenment. See, it's very beautiful metaphor, see. So first they look at the mind, you know, mental afflictions, the afflictive emotions, kleshas. We make enemies, this and that. We dislike this and that. It's because of our own mental afflictive emotions, our ego. We don't realize. Then we hold as this person is bad person, I don't like. So in the 400 stanza written by Ayadeva, mentioned in their text. Suppose a man possessed by evil spirits in the mind, so becomes paranoid, aggressive, you know, expresses anger, hatred, even, you know, the physicians, they help, you know, and that person, when the doctor comes to treat that person, this expresses anger, you are a bad person, you know? And the doctor knows he has a problem with that, possessed by these evil spirits. So the doctor is not angry with that person, you know? Instead, very sympathy and concern. So I have to take care of this person. He expresses all these nasty things, not because of his own nature, but the evil spirit that possesses him, you know? So I have to take care of that. So likewise said, all the sentient beings in the samsara possessed by the evil spirit of the mental afflictions. So we should not treat all sentient beings as enemy, but these mental afflictions, mental afflictive emotions, they are the enemy. So our work is not to destroy that individual, because that individual desire for peace and happiness. But that confusion that is possessed is the enemy we have to take care of. Make sense? These are the first very important point. If we know this all sort out, then our Dharma practice can be very productive, useful, helpful. You see anywhere, Buddhist country, non-Buddhist country, and there's a lot of Buddhist countries have this mental affliction so strong, You see, because they don't know how to practice Dharma. They say, I'm Buddhist, but they have a lot of problems. This way, when we know how to communicate with the people and practice Dharma teachings, when you read Milarepa's songs, all about these things, you see. When you read the songs of the Jigden Sunguns, Lord Dharma, Lord Kambupas, all are about these things. These, because they are highly established in their realization, enlightened, not just from scholarship. There are many great scholars who are very expressive. When you come to the Buddhist philosophy, it says, this is Buddhist philosophy, Buddhists believe this, all this tenet system, This is Vivashaka tenets, this is Sotandrika tenet, this is Chitra Mantra tenet, the Madhyamaka tenet, and this Mahamudra and all these tenet systems, that they believe this, Very expressive. But when you come to the point of how to practice, they are lacking so much. So here we are practicing lineage. What does that mean? You study. Of course, you have to. Without study, you need how you can practice. In order to practice, you have to study. Once you have studied, understood, put into practice. Then not put there, you say, this is what Buddhists believe. So then you say, Buddhists believe rebirth, reincarnation, isn't it? Buddhists believe emptiness. Something like emptiness is a Buddhist belief. Rebirth is a Buddhist belief. Karma is a Buddhist belief, not reality. But in reality, nature, karma is not Buddhist belief. Karma is action. Any actions you put, according to the action, will manifest the result. Remember or not remember previous life, it's the natural reality. No, emptiness is not Buddhist belief. Now, through the quantum physics theory, we all understood every phenomena is within in the emptiness state. No, you understanding or not understanding, it depends on that. So we have to keep the Dharma as fresh, as alive, so that whole society can get benefit, not just few group of people. Or do we need break? Come on, so you need a short break. Okay. When he stood up for the night, it reminds me, So I'm just reminding what it's all about. This is Dharma is always reminding. As you know, in the Bodhisattva Avatara, Shantideva mentioned, I have nothing to say new things, just reminding from my own practice. And there may be some which are helpful for others. there's nothing that is something to say what Buddha has not taught. So you have read many books, I know, and met many great teachers, and it's just all just reminding, refreshing. And if you have any disagree, let me know. No, it's very good. So I also like to hear your disagreement. Why you disagree. It's very helpful for me. So this up to now, I was just mostly reminding the samsara is not outside somewhere, and samsara is within us. In the jewel ornament of liberation in that book, right at the beginning, all the phenomena are into two categories, or two categories of phenomena: samsara, nirvana. Samsara is a confusion. It's a mental confusion, mental formation of confusion. And that, because of that mental formation of confusion, that characterizes as a suffering. Nature of samsara is emptiness. So and the number, the formation of the mind is confusion. And that characterizes as the suffering. Nirvana, the mental formation is the nirvana, the nature is emptiness. So no different samsara and nirvana. But the mental formation of the nirvana is the confusions exhausted and dissipated. So I think this too makes a very important point. When you see through this study all this confusion is emptiness, you know it's not exist. So from that point of view, some kind of like exhaustion is there, but our habit is not dissipated, not disappeared. So confusion is dissipated, exhausted and dissipated. So that characterizes as the peace, free from suffering. So this our now 5 skandha, this body we have, the form, what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch. This, the 5 sensorial objects and the subject mental, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and consciousness. Ear consciousness, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness. So these combination, and there's a feeling. Feeling good or not good. Then there's a perception. You perceive good or bad, different colors, or you hear sounds of perception. And through that, we make the information. And this all left print on the consciousness. So these are 5 aggregates, 5 skandhas, as you know. This 5 skandha, that's what we have. Within this state of the confusion, Then say, I hold this as a solid. One, I. The I is something like permanent. And then we have this sense of permanence. This is when I was 10 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old. No? So we have that kind of permanence, holding that. And all our feeling of perception is joy. The suffering we're holding as a joy, happiness. So I'm clean. We have that kind of, if you're really clean, where we need to go to take a bath, take a shower, where all the bacteria come from. We say you have to out of the bacteria, We are the source of the bacteria, isn't it? The outside the place is so clean, so fresh, and we go there and make it full of bacteria. Look at this, you see. Let us just examine. So holding the suffering as a happiness is a suffering. That's why it's a confusion. Everything's impermanent, instant. We're holding as a permanent. It's a suffering. There's no ego itself there, but we're holding as ego. It's a suffering. Then, so like this, how we make samsara ourselves into samsara. There's no outside. So through Dharma, as I mentioned, through Dharma study practice, we investigate that. Everything so impermanent, transitory nature. And we see that as so impermanent. The cause of being said that impermanence is because of that is emptiness. There's no ego. Also, we look at this, this is the basis of my suffering. We are born with suffering, which we don't remember when we were a young child, as a baby, but we're born with a screaming pain, How mother has pain, how the child has a pain, we don't remember. We're born with that. Then every day we age. When you're young, so things, I'm so young, I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, But it doesn't stay that way, We age. Because this body, we age, suffering. Because this body, we get sick, suffering. Then finally we die. And all the life we walk, you look at, imagine, how much you make effort working hard for your living. And you collect whatever you can. And at the end, you have to leave everything behind, including this body, which we so cherished so much. We spend so much attention to this body, then we leave behind. So look at this, That's what's called renunciation. Renounce doesn't mean don't eat food, don't wear clothes, Renounce means released attachment to this, which has no essence, no benefit at the end. Release the attachment to this life. Release attachment to the samsaric activities. So make effort towards enlightenment. That's called renunciation. Make sense? It's very important. Sometimes people say, oh, Buddhists are so negative. You have to release all your everything behind, They think this life is useless, It's not saying this life is useless. This, as mentioned, when you have precious human life, this has all best thing you can do. But what it's saying is get rid of the cause of suffering, which has no benefit. It's not saying don't take care of your life, but don't attach to this, which has no benefit at the end. So just to know where we have to practice Dharma. Because of this, there's a reason, as earlier I mentioned quite a few times, why we need to cultivate loving kindness, why we need to cultivate compassion, Then, because of that, why we need to cultivate bodhicitta, you see. Right now, our ego is confined. Confined, what does it mean, confined? In the boundary, our ego is confined in the, what's called, cocoon. Okay. Not much space there. That's a mention, very sensitive, very fragile, and we suffer a lot. So now we have to understand how to unconfine, open up, the universal loving kindness, universal compassion, because we have the basic loving kindness. As I mentioned, everyone has loving kindness, limited maybe, but because of the loving kindness, even the small bugs, they can raise their offspring because out of their love, but very limited. We human beings also, how mother take care of the child. This is their mother, this is my child, how much she take care. Because of that, we survive. But now expand from that, capitalize that as, then expand unlimited. Okay. So it's not something religious belief, but it makes sense. Then from that becomes from loving kindness, compassion becomes such a foundation to cultivate the bodhicitta, to achieve enlightenment, because the enlightenment is within us. Its mission is effulgence. The clarity of the nature of the mind is just there. We don't have to create something, but we need to just reveal it. So this is to take refuge in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Means, we say prayers. Do you say this prayer? Tomba lame sanje rumbuche, gyoba lame tamju rumbuche, demba lame kendu rumbuche, jamne kuju sumla chobabe. When you make offerings, you say this, isn't it? Do you know what that means? Tomba lame sanje rumbuche. Tomba means teacher, or who teach, who points. Lame, unsurpassed, the precious Buddha. So Buddha is the unsurpassed teacher who teach you how to achieve enlightenment. All the path until one becomes Buddha. So Buddha is a teacher. Like in a university, when you go to university, the lecturers, they will teach you. A very good lecturer, they will lecture you all the things you need to learn, So Buddha was a lecturer, a teacher will give you all these teachings, wisdom, how to free from confusion and enlightenment. So it's Buddha's unsurpassed teacher. So we take refuge in the Buddha. Sangyala Japsu Cho. I take refuge in the Buddha. So we take refuge in the Buddha as a perfection of all the confusion, purification, purification of confusion, and perfection of the wisdom. So we're taking refuge in that. But in the samsara, we take refuge all with our the mental afflictions, the attachment, the desire says something, you have to do this, okay, I follow you, And then the aversion will tell you that this person is irritated you, so you have to do something, so you say, oh, that's a good idea, So we follow with our afflictive emotions, the kleshas. We take refuge in them, in the samsara. Therefore, we never get free from suffering. We never get peace and happiness. Constantly we're running after this, and we suffer so much. It's clear, Now here Buddha taught this, so I take refuge to Buddha, what Buddha taught this. Then to become Buddha, Gyoba Lame Tamche Rinpoche, Gyoba, protector. The unsurpassed protector is precious Dharma. So Buddha taught the Dharma teachings, how to study, how to practice, follow step by step. So that's also good. How it makes sense. Gyoba Lame Tamche Rinpoche. Gyoba Lame, the unsurpassed guide, it's a Sangha. The great Bodhisattvas were the example how they practice successfully and then towards the enlightenment. It's not something we're making new thing, but that's what Buddha taught completely, and we're following that. So that's why we need Dharma in the world. See, it's not just like it's something you believe, a religion you believe. Those great teachers in the past who know these things so well, so they sacrifice their life for the Dharma. Dharma is so precious, it will bring peace and happiness in the world. Read the life story of Marpa, how Marpa sacrificed his life from high plateau altitude Tibet, and he went down to India, hot, humid, and you can imagine that time, dense forests, that time, so hot. There was no aeroplane, no cars, train, but he walked day and night, for months, because Dharma is something is beneficial for the people. So he brought the Dharma teachings and passed down to Milarepa. And because of Milarepa's example, the Tibet became such a good place for Dharma, for whole Dharma practice, you see. So continued, then, Milarepa passed down Kamupa. So look at these great masters, how much they sacrificed the Dharma teachings. And we also take our own responsibility, how to promote Dharma teachings in the world. So I'm just trying to understand, the history now, why it is important, and why we need to practice Dharma, It's not just a passing down the culture, It's not a culture something, but it's something that valuable, which will serve in the country, for the people. When you go spread this wisdom everywhere, then people say, oh, there's wisdom. No, not as a culture, not as a belief system, not as a religion, rather something, a unique method. Well, we are a lot of confusion in the world. And if you can express these Dharma teachings, how much it will serve the people. So to look at this, so that's why I'm just putting emphasis on bodhicitta. So bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. First, we have the Buddha nature. Second, we have to develop this thought. And then we have to practice hollow. So then bodhicitta, there's it's called aspiration bodhicitta. There's action bodhicitta. See, first you aspire. Oh, now I need to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. Aspire. We need that expression, strong expression. Then, with full conviction, you see, not as a culture, not as a system, or this is the way Buddhists do that. What is there? This is the way it's done. Rather, it's the way how we have to cultivate, how we have to help ourselves, how we can help others, to communicate. Not something new age, but we have the lineage, It's not a cult. Sometimes there's a danger to become a cult. And not as a cult, but something very kind of meaningful in the society, in this wisdom, How to solve the problem, through the wisdom, not how to solve problem within the confusion, No matter how much you talk to solve the problem within the confusion, the problem cannot be solved. Always one after another problem. Through the conviction, through the wisdom, then there's a solution. We need this Buddha's wisdom. That's why bodhicitta, first we need aspiration bodhicitta to attain complete Buddhahood. Now, once you have the full conviction, then we need action. How to achieve Buddhahood? See, not just say, I want to attain Buddhahood, looks so beautiful, oh, that's wonderful, I want to achieve Buddhahood. But we're not Buddha yet. Even we have not solved our own problem, how we can solve others' problem. So we need action, how to do that. Then how to purify these mental afflictions. Then there's a practice called three training. The training of the morality, the training of the meditative concentration, the training of the wisdom, especially insight, Shila, Samadhi, Prajna. There's three training. This is believed by all the Buddhists, Theravada. Their practice is based on these three training. Mahayana, Bodhicitta, also based on this. Vajrayana, also based on this. This way, it's very easy to communicate with all the Buddhists. Otherwise, you see that sometimes the Theravada say, oh, this Vajrayana is very controversial. There is related to kind of influenced by Bon, they're influenced by Hindu, They say that they have kind of little reservation there. But when you have this three training, they have no reservation. So that's last time I was in Indonesia. They arranged a program, talk at a Thai temple. There was a Thai monk, there are 6 or 7 Thai monks there. So I talked how Buddha taught it, the Four Noble Truths, and practice how Buddha attained Buddhahood through the three training and all this, how all the Buddha's teachings are in the three training. And the monks were so happy. They said, yes, oh, now we have this way to communicate, they said, you see. So we have to have that kind of skill, understanding. Just we say, oh, Vajrayana's highest teaching, oh, that's the best teaching, look down on them. They also Hinayana, Of course, art medical, they will appreciate that, Instead, we have to include all. So 3 training. So 3 trainings of, say, morality means avoiding all the cause of suffering. Morality means, and appreciating all the cause for peace and happiness. The famous, there's a quotation, Buddha said, avoid all the unwholesome thoughts and deeds. Engage all the wholesome thoughts and deeds. Thoroughly tame your mind. And this is Buddha's teachings that includes this 3 training. So they say, avoiding all the non-virtue means cause of suffering. This need to be purified. And then thoroughly engage, practice the wholesome thoughts and deeds. So that's the morality. And thoroughly tame your mind means first we need good shamatha. Karma biting. Very important. Without the karma abiding, shamatha, special insight is very difficult to manifest. We need that. So that you see, all this modern, so busy life is not so healthy for that, So you have to try yourself how to, bring your life organized, to make your mind calm, peaceful. Then when you have that shamatha, well-established shamatha, then there's a special insight. Has a very good place. We need this. So that these 3 trainings, then if you go more details, the 6 parameters there. Generosity practice, yes, Generosity practice means mind free from attachment. You do all the good things. Practice of generosity is such a joyous effort. Whatever you can do it freely, joyfully. If you can smile to other people, smile sincerely, not something, if I smile, maybe I'll get something, But that's just sincere mind. How to make peace. How to make peace yourself. Because when you smile, if your mind is not in the right place, you cannot smile, If you smile, it's very, what you call, artificial, very artificial smell. But if your mind is such a relaxed, then your smile is so beautiful. And that makes a big difference, Everybody appreciates that. There's tension, releases the tension. It's a joyous effort. You're giving skill, how to share the wisdom, how to help others in the society. This is joyous effort, it's called. Generosity practice means joyous effort. So you have to understand that. And then if whatever you can give is good, but mostly you see, open your heart. And then they're called fearlessness giving, someone who would endanger their life. So you protect from them. Giving life is such a precious thing. Look at our life, how much precious our life is. Like say, there's a bug, if you touch, the bug will run away because they feel there are some dangerous things happening. There's a fear, they're running away, So the life is precious for anybody. So to protect from that danger of the life, how precious is it's called giving fearlessness. So then wisdom, giving for enlightenment, sharing the wisdom. It's such a beautiful thing in the society. It's not just a Buddhist belief, a religion, but it's a method how to harmonize the whole society. There's a lot of competitions, challenges there, Within that, if you have the strength of the mind, skill, how to share, it's such a precious thing. So there are so many types of way of giving generosity, the practice. Basically, to release your ego, the attachment. So when you realize emptiness, then even you can give your life. There's so many levels way of giving. And then second, morality, as I mentioned, morality means there's morality of the avoiding all the non-virtuous action. There's a morality of the studying, practicing all the Dharma qualities, collecting. And there's morality of benefiting sentient beings. Look at these things. And then patience. Patience is, you can see, it is something that you see. Fearlessness. Impatience comes a lot from fear. When you feel some fear, then they're protective, and then they're angry how to protect, So when you have no fear, then there's no anger. And you just, it doesn't matter, Fearlessness. See, the souls are some are so conservative, so they are so protective, because there's a lot of fear. The whole society is built with the fear that there are a lot of insurance, See, you look at it. If you buy a car, there's need a car insurance. When you buy a house, there's need a house insurance. When you have it, you need a health insurance. And if you don't have insurance, now what we should do, anxiety, there is, a lot of those things. But if you don't really Dhamma practice well, practice Dhamma enough, I'm not saying I have those things, but now those practice of Dhamma, you are born one day and you'll die one day anyway, no matter how much covering you have in your insurance. You say, I have such a wonderful insurance, it covers everything, but still you'll die one day, So what that will do? But out of fear, out of attachment, we have those built up, How much suffering is there, you see. As I mentioned, the Lord Jesus He sent 55,000 retreatants in the mountains, Mount Kailash area. No one has insurance, But they died very joyfully, feeling of now said their life is full of meaningful. We met such a great teacher. We got such great teachings. This is the best thing that we can have in the world. Even I die today, I'm happy. Even I die tomorrow, I'm happy. So that kind of feeling of fulfillment is there. We need it, since we have these precious Dharma teachings, first we look at those, look at the life stories of great masters. Look at now, sometimes we may say 21st centuries, and that time is the 12th century, 11th century, Of course, even before that, when Buddha taught, Buddha taught over 2,500 years past, At that time, the Buddha taught all the suffering and the causes of suffering are still fresh now in the 21st century. That time, people are suffering of the afflictive emotions and birth, aging, sickness, death. They don't get what they want, they get what they don't want, suffering from this. Still, we're doing the same thing, There's nothing's new, What of us is nothing new. Maybe we make more cause of suffering, In those times, they don't have much cause of suffering, But we make new lot of cause of suffering, And then, but suffering at that time and suffering now, the same thing, So Buddha taught totally, it's a comprehensive way of how to handle the cause of suffering. Still, we can freshly kind of apply, nothing to change. What we have is difficulty of understanding. We have not enough wisdom to really kind of dig all these informations. We just touch the surface. We only touch the surface. We don't know. We don't have wisdom to really, dig out the wisdom. So these are. I'm just saying these things just to remind. I know this. All this. We have to have that kind of how. We have to have how to appreciate Buddha's teaching, not just as a, the Buddha taught it the way out there now, say, 21st century is totally different from that time, Rather, we have to bring, at the time of Buddha taught, is how fresh it is, So this just reminding, because I don't have enough wisdom. I know how much I'm missing myself. So from that, I'm sharing this, how much missing, how much little wisdom I have to see the Buddha's teaching. Luckily, say, in the 12th century, Lord Jigdel Songkun, you have heard of Gongjik, and that teachings, he revealed how Buddha has communicated, and that helps us now to see that, not as a Buddhism, not as a religion, rather how Buddha's teaching is based on the causality. Buddha said, Shukui Shisam Babki Nilu Dens, Buddha taught. If anybody knows Tibetan. Yeah, anybody who knows Tibetan? No. Oh. Yeah, let's call Shisam Babki. She is what they call this, the basic, the foundation of the causality. How cause brings the result. If there's no cause, then there's no result, he said. If you see, like, say, there's no fire, and you meditate, I hope there's a fire, I hope there's a fire, just meditate, we have fire, you see I'm burning, so I meditate, the big fire is coming up, meditate. There's no cause to for the fire. No matter how many days you meditate, there's a fire, will not happen because there's no fire. There's no cause for the fire. See? As long as you create the fire there, then fire will manifest. That's what is true. So you have to create the cause. When you create the cause of suffering, suffering will come. When you create the cause for peace and happiness, that will manifest. So that's our dimension, this 5 skandha that we have. When we have confusion, ignorance, then we, in this 5 skandha, we create all the cause of suffering. And then how much people suffer. Look at it. But when you know this, it's a 5 skandha, it's just manifestation. It functions within the many causes and conditions. It's just illusory nature. Everything's illusory nature. This also realize. Then when you have that wisdom, you see, there's no single impermanence there that exists. Why I should so much attach to this? Then from there you get that wisdom and look at it. Before I realized that how much I suffer, now I realize that how much I have opportunity to free from suffering. And then you look at all the samsara in the people outside are suffering from that. Not because they're so rich or poor, educated or uneducated, but because of the delusion. And then you have such great wisdom. From that wisdom, allow you to develop such great compassion. The people, they deserve for peace and happiness, but they don't know how to create peace and happiness. So look at those things you see. So how Buddha's teaching is so useful, helpful. We need that before attaining Buddhahood. Just even in the day-to-day life, how you can help to make less the suffering. Then from there we build the dimension of the enlightenment, Buddhahood. You see. So these are the first very important practice. Then if you follow with that, so then this is what I'm talking about now, the 6 parameters, So the patience, we need a wisdom to practice the patience. Patience has, I feel this has little connotation of the, what kind of like say, negative, If we say forbearance, you bear the difficulties, I think. The bear difficulties on the base of wisdom. Sometimes they're very difficult, but we need to bear it. No other choice. Without fear, without anger, So I'm so grateful that I can practice this. That helps me to purify all my negative karma. Suppose like when you get sick, you are so sick now, what to do? That time, so this is out of my negative karma that I'm going through. Now I have the Dharma. I'm so fortunate. I can bear this suffering for my purification, for the enlightenment. So you bear this consequence out of wisdom, compassion. May everybody achieve, may everybody free from this suffering. My small suffering substitute, have ability to purify all the suffering of the sentient beings. And you feel grateful about that practice. It's called patience, you see. That's called, when you say patience, it's like wasting time, you have to wait there for some time. You wait patiently, please, be patient, So you're wasting your time for no purpose. There's some negative connotation, but forbearing the consequences. This way, wisdom, compassion combined with the bodhicitta, then you practice that strength. It's called courage. Then from there, you can build indomitable courage. So no fear. See? And you can do a lot to benefit sentient beings, so much. And it becomes a good messenger of the Buddha. So to help every sentient beings. It's not that how much you give, but it's how much you practice in your mind, how to purify our mind. Fearlessness. This comes out of great compassion, loving kindness, and bodhicitta. And that comes out of great wisdom. That's it. This unfathomable bodhicitta can only perceive by that great wisdom. Then you can appreciate, as mentioned, I have precious human life. And I met this Buddha's teaching. I'm so fortunate. Then there's a real great reason how you feel joy and appreciative. That's the Dhamma practice, for the purpose of Dhamma. You study practice anywhere, all over the world. Doesn't matter which country you are. For this reason, we need Dhamma stay as long as possible in the world. And people say, so far until now, everywhere in the world, they see Buddhism is something non-violence, peaceful. Who they believe Buddhism as a religion, they see Buddhism as a peaceful religion. Yes, Buddha's taught right from the beginning to the end, nothing but peace. Dhammakaya means total peace, absolute peace. Emptiness means peace. The peace, emptiness means the emptiness of all the afflicted emotions. I'm grasping this as real because of my delusion. I perceive something real is due to my delusion. As soon as I realize this all delusion is nothing but empty, and this nature itself is nothing but empty. See, I'm not making this all empty. I'm making this also real because of my mental afflictions. And I try to fix it, make it as concrete as possible, and we're always unsuccessful because their nature is emptiness. We fix something here and goes wrong something there. We fix there something good and goes something wrong there because their nature is emptiness. And within we and our mind were grasping something is real, try to fix this, real, and never successful. And we suffer from that because of the lack of the wisdom of the realization of the emptiness. Make sense? Or do you disagree? No?
I agree.
You agree?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I want to. Yes, Katie.
His world, our world is perfect.
Oh.
But to be able to do that,
We're able to, yes, yes, you never, exactly. I don't see this as empty. I see this as very substantial, you know. It's because of my delusion. But if I investigate, then I can see this how it's a combination of many causes condition, you know. You see. So through my intellectual analysis, through that I can see, I can prove this is just combination of many causes condition. But from my experience, still I see something real, concrete. It's because my delusion. From practice of for say patience, for forbearance, when you meet conditions, when we meet individuals, we have a lot of opportunity to practice the patience in that way. And then sometimes you feel Dharma is so profound, very difficult. I have not enough understanding. I don't have enough wisdom to penetrate this. No, I cannot practice that. There's no patience. There's no forbearance. I can practice. I can go through it because I Buddha nature. The Buddha nature has every capacity, ability, to capture the complete the nature of the Buddha's teaching. Even the scientists, quantum physics theory, they prove everything's emptiness, you know. But now scientists, what they say, through the quantum physics theory, say, oh yes, now it's empty. There's nothing to do, emptiness, you know. So they forgot. So I mean, they give up the emptiness philosophy, you know. We cannot do anything with the emptiness. We let us try differently, you know. Now in the Buddhist, you see, there's so much thing you can do. Purify all your mental afflictions. Because scientists, they don't know the mind. Because they need evidence. They say, what evidence you have? There's a mind. Something to show, you know, physically. How you can show the mind there? So the brain is the mind, they say, you know, the flesh, the brain. The brain is just a piece of flesh. How much you can do that? The mind you can see so much beyond your measurement. How many thoughts are coming every day, every moment? How the brain can think about that? You see? Actually, the heart is more important than brain, you see. But heart is not like a brain, it's a flesh, you know. So it's just moved and it's just blood, you know, circulation. There's not so much, so they don't put importance so much about the heart. So brain, the measure. Then in the brain, you measure, say, oh, this side, that side, this side, this. But how much you can measure? Because mind is limitless. A brain has a limitation. The brain is matter, a piece of matter. You can touch, you can see. The mind you cannot touch, you cannot see. See, this mind is a consciousness. So to easier to understand, I say brain is the office of the mind. Mind enters in the brain, and then office, you know, there's working there, you know. Heart is the home of the mind, you know. When the mind comes to the heart, you're more relaxed. Your love, compassion come from the heart. That much, just to understand, you can say that. But otherwise, mind is consciousness. Consciousness cannot measure in the matter. All the, you see, it's machine, you know, all the sophisticated machines are the matter, not consciousness. How the matter can measure the mind cannot. You know, can you measure the limitless space nature in the machine? You cannot. You cannot measure the space in the machine. So mind is limitless, no color to see, no shape to, no color, no shape to see, no form to touch. You know, it's consciousness. It's very ambiguous. Only can meditator can understand. So when you read the songs of Milarepa, a meditator, and can see that. Buddha also, you know, before becoming Buddha as a Siddhartha, he left the kingdom and then he went through this 6 years hardship, you know, without food, without clothes. He's just totally, you know, out of touch with this world. And you see his body is skeleton, you know, bone and flesh, you know, bone and skin, that much he has. So his experience, 29 years in the kingdom palace, which he has everything possibly that exists in the world to enjoy. But that's not the solution to free from suffering. Because of that, he left the kingdom. And then he went to the hardship, 6 years, you know, and maybe he is trying, maybe from the hardship I can achieve. So something that, you know, free from suffering. Even he went to the ultimate way of hardship, but that's no solution, free from suffering. Then he was meditating, such a profound space like meditation, that he thought, maybe I'm enlightened, free from suffering. But all the Buddha said, no, not yet. You're not enlightened yet. Then he went from there to Bodh Gaya. You know, and then there with this 3 training, as mentioned, and he meditated. And then in the dawn, in the morning, the full moon, then he achieved the Buddhahood. Then from then he was called Buddha, not before that. Okay? Before that he was called Siddhartha. Then after that, then Buddha said, I become Buddha. I experienced unafflicted ambrosia, which is so total peace, free from liberation, and nature of luminosity, yet it is uncompounded. You see, effulgence. That's the total enlightenment, that Buddha nature, what you have, what we have. He fully revealed that, as I mentioned, purified all the adventitious obscurations. Nothing left. Obscurations become Buddha, you know. So then Buddha saw everyone has that nature. So because of that, the Buddha taught the Dharma teachings. So there are few could achieve that state, like Milarepa, you know. You see. So this is first how it's important. The bodhicitta, plus fearlessness, follow that. Then perseverance, we need, you know, joyous effort. Jundu. The definition of the perseverance means joyous effort. We don't enjoy the cause of suffering, but we should enjoy the cause for enlightenment. Perseverance, see, follow that. To purify our disadvantageous obscuration. We need unflinching devotion. You know the word unflinching? Unflinching devotion. Full conviction. Need that, you know. I'm not dogmatizing you, you know. Okay. You know, sometimes you feel he's dogmatizing us, you know. I have to teach you, explain you how really that is, you know. Sometimes you may feel he's convincing us to how to dogmatize and become a cult member, you know. Yeah, I have to show that there are people I have dogmatized, still they're hanging around, you know. So that's how we individually have to have our own ability to investigate and scrutinize and then follow the path. Have to have the courage without fear. Then at the end, you will appreciate. There's some people who, you know, I have met in the 80s, you know, they're getting old, they're getting sick. They said, can you do a power to me, you know? I don't know how much power I can do that, you know. If I can do power to that person, why I should not do power to everybody? You know, because individually have to convince yourself. I said to that, you know, individuals, put the Dharma in your heart. I said, that's the best power you can have. You know? If somebody can, power produces taught when you are alive, then you have to transmit yourself, you know. If power can do somebody else to somebody else, why not Buddha have done by now? Yeah, this are, you know, see. So keep bodhicitta in your heart. You know? Bodhicitta, just remind yourself in your heart all the time. And that will bring peace. And that's the best power. You know, on the base of the Buddha Dharma. You know, you take refuge to Buddha Dharma in your heart, and then maintain the practice of bodhicitta, both relative and absolute bodhicitta, and then just enjoy your life. And so that will bring really joy in your life. The perseverance, that's what, you know, go through. You need as it's called armor of the perseverance. When militaries, when they go to the war, they have armors, isn't it? They have to prepare all the protection. So we need to have that kind of protection ourselves for the enlightenment with the hope. We're making battle with the mental afflictions. Mental afflictions are their enemy, and we have to get rid of them. No, there's not outside within us. Perseverance. Then, as I mentioned, the meditative concentration, karma abiding. There are many steps you take. So, release all our attachment to ego. And then aversion bringing every sensation piece into your heart. Meditate, calm, make your mind peaceful. There are many steps in this. The 3 walls, the desire wall, the form wall, the formless wall. There's in Sanskrit called Kama Dhatu, Rupa Dhatu, Arupa Dhatu, the Kama Dhatu, desire wall. Then Rupa Dhatu means the form wall, that there are 4 steps. If you read the jewel ornament of liberation in the karma session, there are 4 things are mentioned. The 4 steps of the meditation, step by step. These are the such now. All the gross mental activities are now taken care of. Calm down in your mind, relax. Then there are first step, second step, third step, fourth step. Then they make such a good condition. Vipassana, special insight to give rise. Also, having good meditation is not necessarily you are free from samsara. There are some are very good meditation, very good meditator to the second step for days and days, but not necessarily they are free from samsara. But that's very important. We need, these are the indispensable a method, a condition to give rise to special insight. On the basis of that, shamatha, then there's a vipassana, special insight, reflect on that. The 6th wisdom, the awareness. These are, you see, you read the jewel ornament of liberation in the 6 chapters. They are very carefully Kabupa explained. So wonderful. Not too much, not too little, complete instructions there. How to take care of the self, person self, phenomena self, how to purify those. So these are today's bodhicitta, how to take care. So relative bodhicitta and absolute bodhicitta. When you achieve the special insight, when you realize the selfless nature of the person, selfless nature of the phenomena, then you achieve the ultimate bodhicitta. Yeah. Is this helpful? Some reminding? Sometimes maybe a little boring. He's repeating the same thing all over. I know it, but still he's repeating. Any questions you have? Yes, Greg.
I was thinking about something you said to me a long time ago at one of your teachings. You looked right at me and you said, "Where is Greg?" So I'm still pondering that question. Because I feel like, I guess I'm still here, but I have a different perception of what you're saying to me.
That's good. So he said, those times, everybody is in the predicament. Predicament. So I remember that word, predicament. Yeah, very good. Yes.
Does calm abiding make it much easier to perceive? Like he talks about perceiving the bell as substantial. And I see everything as substantial also, though I can analyze it and see how it's empty because it's made of everything else.
Yeah.
And everything else is made of everything else.
Yes. Then you can come abide so much better.
Okay.
When everything else, something exists because of something, then there's no substantial thing. then you have no place to go. So it's better chance for the karma abiding. If you perceive it as something substantial, then your karma abiding is very fragile. Yes.
Question about the confused mind,
Mm.
which is the cause of suffering.
Yes.
So you talked about using like battling it.
Oh,
You talked about like saying that battling that, fighting against the afflictive mind,
mhm.
but is the real gift actually bodhicitta towards your compassion towards your own confused mind?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I should battle the confused mind or have compassion towards it.
What I was saying is first you have to realize how we are confused. It's very important. When you see how we are confused, and then was struggling, entangled within that confusion due to wrong perception, perceiving something wrong, which is not right. Then because of that, how much suffering we are creating. So then when you realize, I'm suffering so much because of that, my confusion. Up until now, I was going through so much because of my confusion. Now today, I realize how confusion creates my kind of the dimension of the suffering. So then you can look at all sentient beings who are confused. And then through that wisdom, allow you to develop bodhicitta, compassion first place. Everyone is suffering so much because of that confusion. So be grateful yourself. I have been persistent in the Dharma study practice. Now I come to know this, how fortunate I am because of my persistence in the Dharma study. It's allow me such an opportunity to see my confusion. Now I have very good opportunity to practice Dharma. Yes, Katie.
I've been doing my purification practices with the Om Ahom.
Yes.
And it's very easy for me to purify Om Ahom
Yes.
with the different lights.
Yes.
But when it comes to the final practice, when I have to offer bodhicitta to the rest of the universe to change it, to send that light out. I've always stopped, but is it because everything is empty anyway? I'm not changing anything. I'm just giving all that emptiness, which is also me.
That's right.
To them.
That's right.
And that's why I can change it.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or
Yeah. So first, before you practice Om Ahom, first you say, I'm doing this practice to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That's aspiration bodhicitta. Then you start Om Ahom practice, sending light. First purify yourself, then sending light to others. This action bodhicitta. Okay. And then as you mentioned, you are not making empty, but we are practicing how to realize the nature of the emptiness itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, that's a good thing. Now, first, please, first you see, many of you know Dr. Sam here. He is the first founder of the center from the, I think we met in Connecticut Avenue. Connecticut Avenue.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. Yes. First, since 1982. He's the founder, one of the founder of this our center, and he did everything what he could. Since then, we just kept so close, and then he especially likes the Jigdu Sungmun's Dharma songs. One time I have translated the called Chou Zongdong, the song in the Chou cave. He said, I remain in solitude. He just repeat that same all the time. So he's the only few people now who have remained, So I'm very happy to see many of our old friends and few new friends. And some said that they read some of the books translated and the 80s. That's wonderful. So anyways, and Dharma is so precious. We are so grateful here. So now please relax yourself. Now physically relax. And please inhale fully. Expand your chest and stomach. And exhale. Now please remind all these teachings this morning we went through, especially love, compassion, bodhicitta. Now inhale fully. Exhale. Then when we exhale, please purify all our confusions, and maintain this bodhicitta within you. Once more, please inhale fully. Exhale. Now, please, a few dedication prayers, I think. Let me see.